Hello students, how are you all? Hope you all are well. Students, in last lecture I described you about lysosomes, and in this lecture I will describe you about mitochondria. Mitochondria is an organelle which is also known as powerhouse of the cell because it produces ATP by the process of respiration, and in this way it provides energy to every part of the body. So it is also known as powerhouse of cell. It was first discovered by a scientist named Colliker, and its name mitochondria was given by another scientist named Bender. Mitochondria word is made up of two parts. One is mito mean thread, chondria mean granule. Mean these are the thread-like structures which are present, or sometimes they are in vesicle form and containing the different kind of granules between them. Now, the structure of mitochondria. Student, mitochondria is a double membrane structure. Double membrane structure means it has two membranes and contains the jelly-like material between them known as matrix. So today we will study about this. You can see this is the structure of mitochondria. It can be oval shaped, it can be a elongated shape, it can be a sausage shape. So here is the one diagram of mitochondria shown. It is covered by two membranes. This is the outer membrane, and this is the inner membrane. So firstly I will discuss with you outer membrane. Outer membrane is the smooth membrane. It is permeable, porine proteins are present, and it has 50% lipid and 50% protein. So inner to the outer membrane is the inner membrane. This inner membrane is not smooth, it is showing the infolding. You can see these are the projections in the inner side, and they are known as crista. Single is known as crista, and plural of this is the cristae. You can see this is the crista. Okay, now the space between inner membrane and outer membrane is known as outer chamber. I have mentioned here, this is, it is known as outer chamber or intermembrane space. Space between two membrane is known as intermembrane space, or it is also known as outer chamber. Now this is one crista, and you can see in the crista there is also a space, and this is known as intracrystal space. This is known as intracrystal space, and it is continue with the intermembrane space. Now, inner membrane is selectively permeable as that of plasma membrane. The composition of these two membranes is similar to the plasma membrane, but it does not possess porine proteins. It possesses the carrier proteins, permeases, which allows the movement of material around, in and out of the mitochondria. Now, the space between these cristae, you can see there are the number of cristae present here, and the space between these cristae, this is the inner chamber, or we can say intercrystal space. Now this inner chamber is filled with a jelly-like substance known as matrix. This is matrix. Now inside the matrix, proteins are present, lipids are present, amino acids are present, but along with this they are also it is also possessing some useful material. First is the DNA. Mitochondria possess its own DNA, and this DNA is circular, does not possess protein. It is similar to the DNA present in the prokaryotic cell. It may remain in the matrix or may remain attached to the inner membrane, and it is transcriptionally active, means they can form the RNA. Now you can see here the red color structures I have shown. These are the ribosomes, and 70S ribosomes are present inside the mitochondria, and they are also known as mitoribosomes, as they are different from the cytoribosome. Cytoribosome mean ribosome which are present in the cytoplasm, and mitoribosomes mean ribosomes which are present in the mitochondria, and they are responsible for protein synthesis in the mitochondria. And RNA molecules are also present. Obviously DNA is present, so from the DNA RNA molecules, that is ribosomal RNA, messenger RNA, transfer RNA, they are also present in the matrix. Now next structure is these are the lollipop like structures which are known as the oxysomes. We also say them inner membrane structures, subunits, and they are present on the crista, and they contain the enzyme, that is ATP synthase enzyme, which are responsible for the formation of ATP during the respiration process. Now students, this inner membrane, this has two faces. Face which is toward the outer chamber, that is known as the cytosol phase or C phase, and the phase which is in contact with the matrix, that is known as the M phase. So this thing I will explain from here. You can see here, this is the diagram of one crista. This one crista I am showing here, and this is the outer membrane, this is the inner membrane which is infolded to form the crista. And you can see here these structures which are known as oxysome or inner membrane subunits or ATPase synthetase enzyme. So this is intracrystal space, this is the C phase of inner membrane, and this is the M phase of the inner membrane, and here dot like structures, they are representing the inner chamber containing the matrix. So these oxysomes are responsible for the formation of ATP during the respiration by electron transport chain. So its structure is I have shown here also. Oxysomes contains three parts. One is head piece, it is also known as F1. Then here is the stalk, which is responsible for joining the base piece with the head piece. These are the dimensions which are showing their size: 100 angstrom diameter, stalk 33 angstrom in length, and base piece length 45 angstrom, and diameter or width we can say it is 115 angstrom. So this was about the structure of mitochondria. Now what are the functions? Students, you know mitochondria are known as powerhouse of cell. So they are responsible for synthesis of ATP with the help of electron transport chain, which takes place during the respiration. And they are also responsible for the formation of some of the molecules inside the cytoplasm. They also provide some materials to the cytoplasm. Some amino acids are formed in mitochondria. Even they provide different intermediates which are responsible for synthesis of important biomolecules such as chlorophyll, cytochrome, steroids, etc. Mitochondria actively accumulate calcium ions as calcium phosphate precipitate. They regulate the calcium ion concentration in cytoplasm by storing and releasing calcium to positive. Calcium ions regulate numerous biochemical activities in the cell. Now the last thing which I want to discuss, mitochondria is also known as semi-autonomous organelle. Semi-autonomous organelle means it has the ability to make number of things and replicate by its own, as it produces its own DNA, as it produces its own ribosome. So during the cell division from the parent cell, daughter cells gain 2 or 3 mitochondria. Further, they duplicate by their own to increase the number of there in the cell. Okay, so this was all about the mitochondria.